What's going on, everybody on YouTube? Happy Saturday. Griffin here, coming back to you guys with another stream finally after about 4 days or so. First and foremost, I just want to apologize for that because like I told you guys, I try to do one. I'm trying to get in the habit of doing one almost every single day, or at least every other at the minimum, and every Friday for sure, for just an overall weekly update. But as most of you know, I started with my job, I started my own route, so to speak, this week. So that's just been super busy and a big adjustment and whatnot. But in the near future, I'll be getting off. There were some days, 2 or 3 days in a row, where I didn't get home until 7, 8 o'clock. So, but in the near future, that's all going to change. I'll be getting home at 4 or 5 almost every single day in the near future. So, but anyways, I just want to apologize for that. But first and foremost, if you're new to the channel, definitely start subscribing below. We definitely love to have you here. We've got about 410 of us hanging out. And we also have a totally free Discord group chat. I don't try to charge anything or sell you guys anything that I don't do myself or whatever. But that's the first or second link in the description box as well. There's about 35 of us in there. And but yeah, I'll just hop right in. By the title video, you can tell we're going to be talking about iron condors today. I finally did get the app, or whatever you're going to call it, desktop version of the app downloaded to my laptop. It had a little bit of issues whenever I was trying to download it at first, but this morning I got it all straightened out. We actually have the desktop app version, which I highly suggest you guys download on your laptop because it's just a lot easier to function. It's a lot easier to go ahead and, I mean, you guys will see compared to the web version how much easier it is to set up your place. How's it going, Keith? Good morning, or afternoon. I guess it's not afternoon anywhere yet, so good morning. But yeah, I definitely like this app. And then they also have the app for your phone as well, which is super easy to use and super convenient. I love it so much more than Robinhood, which I'll have a whole nother video about Robinhood and what I'm doing with Robinhood going forward, because every time I consider using them for a while, I just get bit every single time. So I'll let you guys know in the near future what I plan on doing with Robinhood going forward. But yeah, if you haven't already signed up for a TCWorks account, it's totally free to sign up. Their commissions are stupid cheap. If you want any information about it, I also have a link for that in the description as well, just easier to get to it. Maybe there's a ton of noise from the mic. Let's see. It might be also that it's raining right now, so if you're hearing any kind of dripping noise, or just overall kind of I don't know how to explain the sound of rain and cars going through rain, it's just because it's literally been raining its ass off here the last few days. I feel like I live in Seattle. Sorry about that, but I mean, Mother Nature doesn't always cooperate, right? But hopefully it'll get better. Maybe I'll move my mic away a couple inches more, just so it'll be even further from windows. But yeah, so as you can see, we're just gonna go. I'm gonna go over a couple different stocks, ETFs, and whatnot, because I want to show you guys. Just obviously, we had a big spike in volatility this week. You can see the implied volatility on Google up here. That's the good thing I like about TCWorks too, is you don't have to go around searching for your IV, your deltas, your thetas, all that. I mean, it's just all right here. As soon as you load up the stock, whatever you're searching, it's right there. You're not having to go click different things to try to find it. And they do the same thing on the app version on your phone as well. It just makes the process so much smoother, faster. I mean, you could literally submit a trade within probably a minute if you knew going in what you were wanting to do exactly. So it's super convenient. But you can see the IV rank on Google right now is almost 81, and that is crazy high, obviously. So that obviously means that the premiums are going to be a lot more expensive, which means as the iron condor, as the premium, as the person that's collecting that premium, you have a potential to make a lot more profit. This one right here is I believe a 2-week or 20-day, something like that, like a 20-day iron condor that I set up really quickly before I went live. Just to give you guys a quick example, this is almost a $200 ranged iron condor. You can see if it hangs around, say, 1,040 to 1,045, something like that, and 1,220 to 1,230, somewhere in that range, pretty much almost a $200 range. Right now, it's right around what would you say, 1,120, so to speak. I mean, pretty wide ask versus bid. Let's just say 1,020, just to keep the number simple, is where it's at right now. So it could literally go up, I mean 1,120. It could literally go up essentially another $100. It could go down almost another $100 as well. So that's a nice little range. And you also do not have, what a lot of people get caught up in is as you know, once your max profit is, if you were to hold your iron condors till expiration, which would be the 20 days, you shouldn't necessarily focus on the max profit as much, because it's pretty rare to, I mean, I wouldn't say necessarily it's pretty rare, but a lot of times you're not going to hold it till the expiration, because I mean, unless if your spread is just so far out, like let's say I went to like 1320 and 960, like something just so far out that it's next to, I wouldn't say impossible, but pretty, I mean, you would watch your potential for profit just go through the roof. I like to do more of what a lot of people refer to as chicken iron condors, which tend to give you a less % chance of profit. 60% though, that's still not bad. It's almost a 2 out of 3 chance of a winner, and that's given that you hold all the way through expiration. So, and what I love about the iron condors too is obviously, you know, your max loss up front. Max loss would obviously be if the option swung, say we went down to like 1,000, you would lose all that money by the expiration. Say we went to like 1,250, you would lose all that money. But that's again why I say you shouldn't necessarily want, I wouldn't say one, obviously perfect scenarios, you hold it till expiration, collect the max profit, and move on. But you shouldn't force it. Like if you start to see, man, we're coming up, say you have 5 days left, and man, we're coming up on 1,200, or we're at 1,210 for example, go ahead and cover that profit, because you're going to get probably 60% of that profit anyways, and 60% at 365 is going to be what, roughly 200 and some change. So I mean, $200 profit off of, let's just say $210, $225 profit off of a 635 quote-unquote investment, since you have to have that collateral and you can't spend that amount of money in your account until you close that position. I mean, that's close to a 25% profit in, say, 2 weeks. So I mean, that's not a bad profit at the end of the day. So don't necessarily get caught up in the whole max profit, because more times than not, unless if, like I said, your spread is just so far out that, I mean, your potential for profit is essentially like 90%, then you're rarely going to close every single one at, I mean, you're never going to close, not rarely, you're never going to close every single one at expiration. But anyways, like, Google is a pretty good setup right now. IV ranks super high, so obviously you can see that your premium that you'll be collecting is a lot higher, and this is if you were getting the midpoint. I mean, look at the range. The only thing I don't like is that the range for the premium, for the price, whatever, however you wish to call it, is the range is super wide, which you really don't like whenever you're doing iron condors. But obviously you can always make exceptions. You can tweak it a little bit, try to find the happy medium, look at the option chain, see what's being bought and whatnot the most. I'm just, again, doing like little quick iron condors, showing you guys the potential for profit and whatnot you can make in the upcoming week or two with this spike in volatility. Another one that I was looking at earlier this morning, which shows you in Discord, if you've seen it, I posted it probably about 20 minutes or so before I hopped on here, was an Amazon iron condor, which obviously went away because I closed it out since I was on here. But another, again, about, I think I did the 20-day if I remember right as well. If anyone's watching that's in Discord, Keith, I think, yeah, you're in Discord. If you could let me know if it was the 20-day or if my picture even showed. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I'll go ahead and make another one, because look at Amazon's IV rank, pretty much 85 right now. That is, again, crazy high implied volatility right now. And Amazon does have earnings coming out, I believe, either this week or next week. So that's something to keep in mind too. Their earnings always seem to just blow expectations out of the water. The only thing I don't like here is that the liquidity is around a 1 star. I don't really tend to focus on this quite as much, but just something to always keep in the back of your mind. If it's, yeah, I don't worry about it quite as much. But So since I'm usually pretty bullish when it comes to Amazon's earning rate, what am I gonna do when it comes to my calls that I'm buying and selling? That's gonna be my side that tends to go further to the upside. So right now it's trading around, let's just say 1800. It's probably gonna open at 1800 Monday morning, and I know that it can easily swing about 50 bucks on a really good earnings, sometimes even more. I remember there was one earnings, Amazon popped big time, like 80 bucks or something like that. Let's see, October 2. So that was actually about 2 weeks. So this one's about a week further out. There's not going to be a huge difference, but thanks for that. So point being, I'm going to go ahead and do about a $150 range. So I would go ahead and buy the 1952.50. I'll just go ahead and do the 1950. Call, I'll go ahead and sell the I'll just say 45 call against it. And since I'm a little more bullish on it, what I'm going to do is my downside risk, my puts that I'm going to be buying and selling are going to be a little bit closer to the current price. There's an actual name for this type of iron condor. I don't know all the names yet specifically, but there's like, I don't even remember. I can't even tell you guys in all honesty. I watched some videos about them this morning, like the chicken iron condors and all that stuff. But there's a certain name for every specific, a more bullish iron condor, a bearish iron, whatever. They have names for all of them. It's not bullish or bearish, but you guys probably get what I'm saying. So I'm gonna sell. I'm going to buy and sell some puts that are closer to at the money, or not at the money, but you guys know what I'm saying. I'm going to probably say 1720. That's only about, actually I'll go ahead and do 1730, and I'll go ahead and sell 1740 puts against it. So you can see the max loss is around $515. Again, this one, you're going to have a little bit more capital. I'm actually probably going to make this go a little bit further out on each, just a little bit on the puts. I'll probably go ahead and do 1700, and then I'll go ahead and sell the 1710 or 1710, 1720, because okay, so you can see the max loss is still around 540. The max profit's 460. Potential for profit, however, is only about 40%. And why is that? That's because obviously Amazon is moving crazy low and higher. Earnings coming up. There's all kinds of factors that go into that. And then obviously our range is a little bit more squeezed. It's, again, the chicken iron condor, so to speak. I'm betting a little more bullish because, like I said, their earnings, I mean, there's nothing that makes me or probably anyone really doubt that Amazon's earnings will once again blow expectations out of the water. So I'm betting a little bit more to the upside. If anything, I might want to go ahead and go up to like 2,000, or not 2,000, but pretty close to 2,000, just because, I mean, nothing really surprises me with Amazon, and I don't want to be caught off guard. So, I mean, you can see we raised our profit potential a little bit, about 3%, close to 50%. But with the chicken iron condors, you're going to be more closer to 45 to 55%. Once you get over 55%, you're looking more towards just a standard iron condor. The chicken iron condors, they tend to have a less potential for profit if you held to expiration, but your max loss is lower, believe it or not. And your max profit is actually higher because you're taking on more risk, of course. Because, like, let's say we went down clear to, I don't know, let's say 1660 and 1670, and let's say we brought this clear up to 2025, and which is unnecessary, of course. I mean, if you ask me, at least. And then 2020. I mean, you can see our potential for profit is right around that 60%. But you can see the further you go out, your max loss goes up further, your max profit goes down. So it just depends on how you like to trade as a trader. If you're thinking that you're going to want to hold more till expiration, then yeah, you're going to be focusing a little bit harder on the quote-unquote potential for profit, because this is based on if you held it till expiration, because of course your goal holding till expiration is for all these to expire worthless, for just to trade in between this range, and then you collect all that premium, of course. there's tons of ways you can do the iron condors at the end of the day, which is why I personally love it the most when it comes to trading options. Don't get me wrong, I'm still learning. I had obviously my SPY iron condors. I actually had to go ahead and sell them prematurely as well, because obviously the market just took a total shit on pretty much the whole week, and it pretty much went outside of my range. But you can't always predict that, right? That's why, again, you just have to kind of go based on recent history. You know that the Amazon earnings this week is probably going to blow expectations out of the water, but I would not do an iron. Me personally, on a 20-day expiration, I would not do a range this big, especially knowing that their expectations always seem to get beat by a lot. The furthest out I would probably go is probably around like 1700 personally, like I mentioned. Furthest out I'd probably go is like 2000. Again, this is just me, because I'm just going based off of, again, recent history with Amazon. So I would do 1995. So I mean, you can, or did I do that right? There. Okay. So yeah, I mean, you can see, I feel like I did something wrong here. 1690, buy. Okay. So see, I mean, you can see that one, the potential for profit 65%, but look at that max loss. Again, your max loss goes through the roof whenever you start. 633. I think it's because I have my puts and calls. I mean, I have my buys and sells really close. The further you go out, the more you lose. The closer you have them in, the max loss goes down as well. So you just got to play around with them at the end of the day. And like I said, just find something that works for you. If you're someone that is pretty skeptical, like especially when you're doing your first iron condors, by all means, have a big spread. And since I know a lot of people can't play with this amount of money, I'll do like SPY here real quickly for an example as well, because SPY is another one that IV's gone up quite a bit. This, just to put in perspective, the IV tends to be around like 12 to 15% on SPY. So obviously it's like over double that. It's obviously moved crazy the last, what, week or so, almost 2 weeks. But let's see, I think we're gonna again have a 16 day on this one. So SPY, you guys know I love trading SPY. It's just one of the, I wouldn't say the easiest ETF or op stock or anything like that to trade, but it's one of the most liquid. I mean, you can see 4 out of 4 on that. It's one of the most liquid. I mean, you can get your stuff filled at the price you tend to want very quickly. You're not having to play around with your prices and all that stuff. But let's say you're brand new and you're just kind of like you're cautiously, what's the word I'm looking for? Pretty much you're hopeful, but you're cautious at the same time, especially with how the market's been. Cannot blame you whatsoever. So we have a 16-day option. I have a pretty good feeling that SPY's not going to make a new record anytime soon. So I'll do 296 call is the one I'll buy, and then I'll sell the 295 against it. I have a pretty strong feeling that SPY's not going to go below like 270. So what I'll do is just to give me a good little buffer, 265 buy versus a 266 sell against it. If I did that right, why is it showing my max profit 0? $295. $269, $268. $296, $295. I'll just do a 270 because that's what I was playing with earlier, and 271. So you can see right there, your potential for profit is 61%, which is actually a pretty decent percentage on profit. Again, this is based on holding till expiration, this is technically almost a chicken iron condor, because you can see your range is pretty damn small. I mean, we have a what, $26 range, so I mean it's still a pretty decent range. $26 from a percentage standpoint is what, roughly a 5 to 10% range that it can move in. And again, 61% for holding till expiration is pretty high. And this is why I wanted to show this to most of you, because most of you I know are playing with $100, $500, $1,000 maybe some of you 2 to 5,000. Point being though, a lot of you guys are not trading. I know for a fact that like most of us are not trading with the 20, 50, $100,000 accounts yet. Trading with 1 to 2 to 500, mostly under $1,000. And you can see right there, max loss $76, max profit 24. So I mean, again, don't focus so much on the max profit, but when you're doing your whole risk versus reward, you can see you're essentially risking. I mean, if we did it after fees and everything, you're looking at $20 versus an $80 buying effect. So that's essentially what, 25% profit if you held to expiration, which is again roughly what, 10% a week roughly, if you held to expiration. So you can just always just sit around and just play with the options a little bit. And I mean, you can see, let's see what this one is. Potential for profit 76%. Max loss though 443 versus 557. You can bring these out further. Like I said, you can just play with them, see what kind of range you think SPY is going to trade within, as well as any stock, of course. But the ones that I'm mostly watching right now are Google, Amazon, SPY. I was thinking about maybe Apple as well. I think Apple has earnings coming up as well. Here in the next, I believe, week as well. Let's see. So these are 20 days, and if you're wondering how, the only way I figured out how to change it by doing it on the app, I mean on the desktop app, is by going over to the table, is where you can go and play with different dates and whatnot. But I like to just do the curve, at least just for playing around, so to speak. I tend to mostly do most of my trades actually from my phone, in all honesty, on the app. But whenever I'm just like kind of just studying up iron condors and certain option plays that I'm considering, I just tend to use the curve for this. But if you're just wondering why I'm not like changing the dates, it's because I do it on the table, and I don't really like using table mode as much personally. So anyways, so right now Apple right around 293. Even if it has good earnings, I don't think it's going past 240 within the next 20 days. So I'll go ahead and do a 240, 250, 240 against it. I don't think we're going under 200, so I'll do a 200, and then I'll go ahead and do like a, what, 205, or let's say 202 against it, 202.50. So you can see right there, potential for profit almost 70%, max loss of almost $200, max profit of 58. You can, like I said, you can always play with these. I would not play with the downside. I would not bring it closer in, because even though we don't think, at least I don't think it's going to go under 200, I definitely don't want to bet more, like I don't want to bring our puts like to 210 or anything, because if Apple's earnings aren't as good as expected, we could definitely test around 210 to 205 for sure. But you could, like, say you think, oh man, there's no way Apple's going up $20 in 20 days. That's $1 a day average. Well, then you could go ahead and bring this in a little further. Say you think it might hit 230 but not quite 240. Then okay, that's fine. Go ahead and bring it in a little. You can see potential for profit drops 10%. But your max profit goes up to almost $100 versus a max loss of 152. So again, your max loss goes down, your max profit goes up, your potential for profit goes down a little, but you're not probably planning on holding these till expiration. So you can see you're going to get a credit of about $94 versus a reduced buying power of 156. So if you did get to hold that all the way till expiration, let's say in a perfect world, trade goes exactly how you plan it, trades right in between that $35 range you have, you would essentially make what, well over 50% on your money. I think closer to 60 to 70% on your money. So Apple, definitely one to consider playing this week as well. Doesn't really tend to take too much money. Some of you might not have the money for that. If you're trading with under, let's say, $200, I'd probably stick with the SPY options, especially when it comes to iron condors, because we just seen it can take like 40 to 50, sometimes 70 at the most dollars to get an iron condor, a good, solid, safe iron condor placed. And I'll go ahead and just go back to that actually, because I know there's a lot of people that are trading with like under $200, under $500, which yes, SPY options tend to be the quote-unquote safest, best chance of rate of return. So right now, again, the 16 days, I'll go ahead and pull these in a little. I personally don't think it's going under 270, but never know at the end of the day. So I would do like a 269. 270 against it, and then I'd probably do something like a I would say probably 294 to 293. I don't know why it keeps. That's the only thing I've noticed so far about the app is like the app on the web page, on the web page, the app for the laptops, for the PCs, it tends to glitch sometimes. I don't quite understand why it'll show max profit 0, potential profit 0, even though the iron condor, as far as I know, it's set up just about right. Like it wants me to like do this range, and I don't quite understand why. But let's say you did go ahead and go, no, let's not, because that's not, yeah. It's acting up right now because you should only really have to do about $1 range, but for some reason on the put side, it's making me do a $5 range when it comes to SPY. So I do have the previous video actually where we talked about iron condors. I went over SPY and how little capital it takes for iron condors. You literally, like for my iron condors I placed this week, I only had to put up like $40 to $50 worth of collateral with a profit of around 25%. That was a weekly iron condor. So like I said, SPY is definitely the best bet if you're looking to get in iron condors and you have an account balance of say $200 or less, maybe even $500 or less, because you have the better chance of just that safe guaranteed return. I mean, with the week, what I like about the SPY weekly iron condors is usually after about 2 days, 2 or 3 days, you can lock in usually about half of that potential for profit, of course, because theta really starts working in your favor. I noticed a few of mine were up like 22%, like 15 to 20, 22% on the high end, and that wasn't holding till expiration as well. So like I said, if you have an account balance of like $200 or less, I would definitely suggest doing the SPY options for like using SPY for iron condors. How's it going, Josh? Good morning, good morning. And I am Solar. How's it going? How's it going? Welcome, welcome. Hope everybody's having a good Saturday, good start to your morning. I know we keep getting new viewers all the time, so shout out where you're from. I know Josh is on the West Coast, so it's like 9 in the morning there. I didn't know if you were going to make this stream, but I'm probably not going to make the stream last too much longer. We've been on for what? Like half an hour, right on dot. Wow, we got 4 of you tuning in. That's more than what I thought would tune in today, in all honesty, because I tend to not do them on Saturdays, as most of you know. This is just kind of the update that I was supposed to do yesterday, but that I didn't get home again till after 6 o'clock with traffic and everything. 6, 7 o'clock was when I finally got settled in, so wasn't feeling up to it, to say the least. East Coast, yeah. I'm actually located, for everyone that's new, I'm located in Dallas, Texas. I actually just moved here within this last year from a small little college town in Columbia, Missouri. So I'm in Central Standard Times right now, where I am. It's just after 11 a.m. and I feel like I live in Seattle because it's literally been raining for like the last week, and I'm really getting sick of it. But yeah, like I said, these are the ones right here that I'm really looking out for this week: SPY, Apple, Amazon, Google. If I were to say the two I would definitely be SPYing the most, it would be probably Apple for my for me specifically because of, again, the account size, Apple and SPY. But I would say if you have over 500, say you're over 500 or $1,000, Amazon and Google are definitely some good plays that you should be looking at this week, because there are definitely some great potential returns that are coming up this week. But like I said, for anyone that's new to the channel, definitely consider subscribing below. If you're seeing this during live stream or after it uploads, consider subscribing. We'd love to have you here. And we have a totally free Discord group chat. It's one of the first links in the description box. There's about 35 of us in there now, so it's always awesome to just network with a bunch of like-minded people. And like I said at the beginning of the stream, I wanted to apologize just to everybody that watches the channel and that is in Discord, because I haven't been too active this week. Like I said, I started my new route at my job, my first route at my job, and it's, for one, like an hour away from home, so it adds like 2 hours to my day, on top of the fact that we're still being scheduled 5 to 7 slots. Makes it to where I don't get home till like 6, 7 o'clock some nights, sometimes even later. But in the near future, that's going to be changing, and I will be home by like 4 o'clock, so I'm definitely going to be doing streams just about every single day at that point. I'm still going to try to do at least 3 or 4 a week. Tomorrow we'll have Sunday Stock Watch, where I'll kind of go over more than just iron condors. But we'll have Sunday Stock Watch, and hopefully I can do another 2 streams throughout the week, and then have the Friday, Saturday, depending on how Friday goes, update for the week. But and like I said, if you haven't, if this is your first time even hear about Tastyworks, if you like trading options, or let's say not even just for options, by far it's the best platform for options traders, period. I mean, there's no discussion about it. But if you're paying like commissions for your trades as well, I would consider at least looking into them, because I mean, their commissions are really like cheap, like really cheap. So if you haven't heard of them, I have a link in the description box. It'll like show you, I believe if you just scroll down all the way, it like shows how their commissions lay out and everything. And I believe I did post a picture of how their commissions lay out too, because I was interested in knowing like how much it costs for futures and stocks and all that stuff. But if there's no questions or anything, like I said, hopefully you guys did enjoy the stream. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. I greatly appreciate that. And feel free to share this channel, videos, all that good stuff with any friends or family or coworkers or anything like that that are interested in hopping into the stock market and achieving financial freedom, because that's what it's all about at the end of the day. But until next time, guys, keep on going out there, making your profits, covering your profits, and achieving some financial freedom this year. And I'll see you guys, like I said, tomorrow for a Sunday Stock Watch. Take it easy, guys.